All right. Um, whenever I have anybody on like new, it's always exciting and um, it's always fascinating because there's always just new faces, new things going on. With you, on the other hand, though, it's like, dude, you're having such like a great season. It's so awesome to watch you run. But before we go deep into that, I always kind of start off with like, I want to know like how'd you start running? What's the story on that? How did we get here?
So, really, I have been running since I can remember, but I really didn't get serious about it until like these past 2 years. But my sister ran in college, so she's really like inspired me, and my dad also has ran like the New York City Marathon. So yeah, it's really been like engraved in me since like a young age. I just didn't get serious about it till like these past 2 years.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, that's kind of hard to to follow up, I guess. But that's cool. Like you said, it's inspiring. Definitely to have family like already kind of engulfed in the sport. Um, Hobbies, like what are we doing outside of running? Even though running really takes up most of our time anyway.
Yeah. So me and my friend love to go surfing when the waves are good on Hilton Head, which is kind of rare, but it's always fun, even if they're not that big. I love to like try new coffee places and cafes with my friends. So yeah.
Okay, no, that's cool. So I'm from Cocoa Beach, Florida. So like surfing is always like prime time there. Everybody wants to surf. Um, Coming to South Carolina, you don't hear that. You're the first person to ever say like surfing. So, but obviously, you guys are on the coastal area, so it
Yeah.
works out for you guys. Um, I want to talk about track a little bit. I know obviously we're in cross country, but I do think your track times are they're interesting. They're really interesting because like on paper, and you can, and again, the floor is gonna be yours, but on paper, you kind of are like it doesn't translate over to like cross country. You're so much quicker. It seems like the long distance stuff is like perfect for you. Um, 27 for 16, 11, 57 in the 32, and then 217 for the 8, which that's like, I mean, it seems like the 8 is kind of your event. Is that accurate? Or like, do you like the shorter stuff in a way?
Yes, I definitely do like the 800, but I actually did get injured at the start of my track season. It was like we had a meet that Saturday, our first meet, and I got injured that Monday. So that really knocked me out of the season for like a month and a half. I was just in the pool and on the bike, so it was hard for me to get enough strength back for like the 2 mile and mile. So I really focused on the 8 for like state. So yeah, I think that's really what like that was not good for my track season, but I mean, I think it just makes me mentally stronger now in cross country. So,
Yeah, no, for sure. Anybody who knows like, especially like aqua jogging or biking or anything like that, it's like it is so different than actually running. Obviously in the grass or on the pavement. But obviously that opens up a lot of insight because again, like I said, you look at that and I'm like, dang, like that is weird because the 800 is so fast. Like 217 is not slow at all. Um, do you feel like having that kind of speed helps you in cross country? That 217 speed?
yes, I do because, like the last half mile of a cross country race is far from easy, but I really can open my stride then and kind of like feel like I'm like running on the track like as I would as like an 800 or 400. Yeah, it definitely helps me like have a final push at the end, which is what I try and do.
Yeah, and so you also ran at Adidas track nationals. How was that experience? I mean, you see a lot of these kind of big national meets now, and it's like it seems like every single year they're getting like more hype and more like stuff to get out of there. How was the Adidas track national experience?
A lot. It definitely was something new to me that I was doing, but I wanted to just try and get another good 800 time. Yeah, it was good. I was training for that and cross country, so it was a little difficult, but I think that that's also helped me doing like some speed training in the beginning of summer in this cross country season as well.
Yeah, I love how you mentioned that too because it's crazy how deep like track seasons are going nowadays, especially with those national meets being in like June time frame. Um, and then kind of to step back just a second, but fourth at states for the 800, obviously like a great finish. Kudos to you, congratulations on that. Was that the finish you were kind of expecting because of like so much time kind of out like off the track, or do you think there was more left in the tank, or just like in if you had more of that track season, you maybe could have gotten the win?
Yes, I mean, I was hoping to run a little bit quicker than that in the 800, but I was honestly so happy with how I finished just because of the amount of time I had out. But I was really struggling getting under 220 until the state meet because in the 4x8, I ran a 218 split and then I ran a 217. So yeah, after I ran that split in the 4x8, I was like, okay, like I got this. Like, let's go under 220 again and try and get all state, which is, yeah, I think it was like 220 to get all state. So I was like very happy with that outcome.
Yeah, you're not the first person to say that, but like, and it's always fascinating because I was talking to somebody the other day about this, that like the anybody who does like the 4x8, it seems like for some reason like we can go faster in the 4x8 versus like the open 8, which is really weird. But I mean, obviously, it has to give you confidence to be able to do, the sub 220 and whatnot. Let's kind of pivot back to now, like where we are, I guess, in cross country. So, really want to talk about cross country. But we want to go back to the summertime. So, summer training, um, how was that? Did you feel like you kind of got everything you wanted to out of it? I mean, I know, like you said, track season went a little deep for you this year. But do you feel like you accomplished everything, like with the long run or the easy runs?
Yes, I did a lot of mileage this summer, more than I ever have. And I weightlifted a lot, and I feel like those two main things have just really helped me this season. Just getting in a run no matter what I had going on that day. If that meant waking up way earlier, I was gonna get it in. So yeah, I feel like I did do a lot of what I wanted to.
Yeah, so you look at 2152 in cross 23 and then 1857 in cross 24. Um just first off, I mean that's such a huge drop. Um and then obviously going into this year, but we won't talk about this year just yet. Did you like were there certain things that you did that you just noticed like, hey, if I can just up this a little bit more, I can make those continued drops, or kind of what was in the summer training that really kind of helped you propel forward to be this kind of like elite athlete?
Definitely the amount of mileage. Like I used to not run a lot of mileage at all. I mean, maybe like I mean, even last year, probably like max 40 miles a week, like, prime training. Now I was doing like 60 to 50, like around there. So yeah, a lot of mileage. Also listening to my body, like when I felt really tired from a workout the previous day, like maybe just taking an actual easy run, and eating the right foods, I feel like has definitely helped me a lot too.
Oh wow, no, that's cool. I always think like like when you can kind of take a step back and like learn something about yourself, and like, hey, these are the things. It's always the little things too that make such a big difference.
Mhm.
That really, again, like you just you kind of blow out onto the scene. I think that like that 23 to 24 season really kind of showed that. But yeah, so 1857 and 24. I guess, off the top of my head, I guess I would assume what, sub 18 maybe the goal heading into the season? Like what were some of the goals heading into the season?
Yeah, it was definitely sub 18. I honestly didn't expect to get sub 18 as early as I did, but yeah, that was definitely my goal to go under 18.
Yeah. Was I mean I know you mentioned you didn't think you were going to be as early. When you I guess yeah, when you initially went under, did you did you feel like you were capable of it? It just had to be the right race, or what?
Yeah, like I just had to trust in my training and get a little like confident. Sometimes I do struggle with that, but yeah, I just feel like if I just trusted in myself, slept good, did all the right things that I could, it was definitely possible.
Yeah, and so we go to your PR 1749, which again is like huge congratulations to you. That's awesome. Going, I always say like I think once you go 1830, like sub 1830, it's you start kind of knocking on the doors of like the tiers of being elite at the high school level. And then it's kind of like 1820 you get under, and then 1810. But the like sub 18 for a girl in high school is like, all right, like you're gonna win some meets for sure. Walk me through that. 49. Did you notice you were going that fast, like right out of the gate, or was it just like you crossed the line and you're like, oh my gosh?
Yeah, so I definitely, I felt good. Like, for some reason, this meet, which I'm trying to change this mindset, I'm always like very nervous before meets, but this meet I was like excited and I felt ready and just like confident. And I feel like that's helped me a lot instead of getting nervous, like get excited for meets because like you do put in all this work and it's just like there's no point to be nervous if you know you're prepared. So yeah, I definitely realized I was going that fast and I did feel good that race.
You know, you bring up that point of like not feeling nervous. I was telling my son that the other day. He asked me like if I ever got nervous in high school, like before a race, and I like sat there for a second and I thought I'm like, you know, honestly, I really don't recall ever being nervous. I was
Mhm.
kind of like I trusted the training. Like I knew the game plan. You know, obviously run with the guys and you know we'll see what we can do. And there was never really that nerves. And I think when you kind of have that mindset too, it's not like trust me, if I had a bad race, I was not like super excited about having a bad race, but I also wasn't like super down in the dumps because I know like you know every course is different and it's going to play out eventually. Um, so you go through the first mile. Do you notice like are there splits out there? Like do you know like today's the day?
So honestly, my first mile is honestly always pretty similar. The first time I went under 18, it was actually a little slower than normal. Usually I go out pretty fast, like around like 5:35. When I went under 18 that one time, the first time it was like 5:40 something, I think. So, yeah, but it's usually close to that time. So it's more how I feel like halfway through the race. Like if I feel good, I'm like, all right, like I got this. Like I know I'll have like a good push like the last bit of the race. So yeah, it kind of just depends how I feel halfway through.
And do you like I guess with any race it doesn't even have to be your PR, but do you notice any like do you hear anybody? Like do you hear your parents or your coaches at all like yell at you during the race?
I'll usually hear my coach. He usually is like talking to me and telling me to run smooth and just fix whatever, like if my running form's a little off. I will hear fans or, like, my parents occasionally. Sometimes I don't. It just depends how good I feel. I feel like if I don't if I honestly, when I feel good, I don't hear that many people, but when I feel, like, not so good, I will hear, like, things more.
I'm curious. I want to talk about the Lake Murray race. That's yeah. So because we were there, we had coverage there. But from the get go, you were out. You were out. You pretty much led the whole thing from start to finish. Is that always the game plan to like to get out hard? Well, is it to get out hard or is it to like? Because it's almost weird that you have. I mean, you basically ran alone the whole thing essentially. Do you feel like you need to do that or what?
No, not like in every race necessarily, but with that race, the start, like after 100 meters, you can like come to a complete stop just because I remember it from like previous years, because it's like a direct like turn. So, I wanted to get out fast there just so I didn't get stuck behind anyone, but, I don't always feel like I have to do that. I just try to in the bigger races where I know it's like possible to get stuck behind girls or like the course is like turny and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I I always find it interesting talking to especially like leaders, I guess, as you would call yourself, because I would have so much anxiety running in the front, knowing that like every girl is literally trying to, you know, gun me down here and catch up to me. Um, do you feel that kind of pressure at all when you're out front, or are you just again, are you just kind of like focused in on going as fast as possible?
Yeah, at first I'm kind of in my head a little bit, but then once I get into the race and I'm just running, I just kind of start to just like distract myself and I feel like I'm like I'm in this race, so like just keep going. Yeah, so I really feel good once I'm in the race. I am more like nervous before I start the race and just like getting out if I need to and stuff like that.
Do you look back at all?
When I'm racing, no, I
Yeah,
don't. Yeah, no,
really.
I don't. Yeah.
That's funny. I was talking to a guy. He won the Adidas XC Challenge, and I asked him that, and he's like, I looked back like right before the hill at Wake Med, so it was like the last like 200 meters or 250, because it's so like I said, it's so nerve wracking. That's
Mhm.
like you just don't know, and like people could be cheering like, oh, she's coming, she's coming. You never look back at all, or have you ever looked back?
Think I've ever like looked back. Sometimes though, like if it's like a course where you can see behind you, like let's say like you're running back from where you just came, like Lake Murray, it did that like I think 2 times. I'll like try and look maybe, but like I've never like just been running and just like, oh, let me look back because I feel like that would make me more anxious if I know how close they are.
Yeah, that is very true. I honestly, most coaches would probably love you because they hate when runners look back. It's like an unwritten rule. You just can't. You're not supposed to look back. I'm curious now. Favorite courses? What are we favorite courses? Whether it be South Carolina, North Carolina, out of state, even farther. What's your kind of favorite course?
I like the one where I went under 18 the first time. Even like last year, I like that course a lot because that's where I had like a breakthrough race there as well. Like I just realized like wow, like I can actually be good at this sport. Um, because like I never considered myself as a distance runner. So like that course, Pink House, has really like I don't know, just like sentimental because it like opened my eyes to like being a distance runner. And that's also where like our regions is and stuff. So I run there like 2 times out of the season. And then obviously I like our home course because it starts on the track and I love track, so it gives me confidence.
Yeah, no, hey, no, there you go. I mean, so you say that you don't find yourself a distance runner. Like, has that changed? Like, do you still think that you're not really a distance runner? You're just a track runner running cross country?
No, I definitely consider myself a distance runner now, but if you were to ask me that my sophomore year of high school, I'd be like, no, I'm not a distance runner. I used to do like 400 hurdles my sophomore year in high school. Like I never found like an event or like cross country that like really like stuck with me. Like I was kind of like lost in track, like that's how I felt. And then yeah, I just started training for cross country and then I was like, wait, I actually like am kind of good at this.
Yeah, and you said you're like your sister ran. She ran cross country too, or was she more of like the hurdle as well?
She's like a 400 runner, but she did
Okay.
do cross country for like the 400. So that's how I thought of myself too, but I don't not anymore. I'm not like
No,
that.
no. I mean, hey, that's great. Honestly, develop for a level of long distance running, which I appreciate because I cannot do this short stuff. Ask me to do a 400, I'd be like, there's no way, dude. So 3 wins individually this season. Again, like it goes back to like the whole kind of anxiety of everything. But what is kind of like, especially for like a race like this coming up? Is there a game plan already kind of for that? Because obviously you know the competition is high and kind of everybody watches. Like, what is a game plan for a big race?
Um, Depending on how many girls there is, it's either like to get out fast and then stay with the leaders and then just see where it goes from there, or yeah, I would honestly say that's it. I just will go out with the other girls that are, like top in the meet and just stay with them because it will be nice to like run in like a pack with the girls like this weekend. Yeah, just because I feel like that pushes me.
Do you think ever like are you ever nervous to take the lead of like any of those kind of bigger meets, or it's like because at the same time too, I know everybody wants to run fast. That's inevitable. Um, but most of the time, also people will be like, I just want to compete and win the race as well. Are you willing to kind of take the lead in a big race, even though it means like, hey, you might be doing all the work for everybody else, and they just, I mean, you do have the 800 speed at the end, but you never know.
Yeah. Um, I if it comes like if it falls into place, like let's say I get out and it just happens for me to be like in the front and leading the other girls, like I will do it just because I want to like however I feel going out is kind of it sets the tone for the whole race for me. So I feel like if I just happen to fall into like being the lead girl, like I'm just gonna try and hold on with that and stay in that place. But if I get out and I'm like right behind them, I'll probably try and keep that placement until I feel good enough to like push at the end.
Yeah, and so when you look at like towards the end of the season here, you obviously know like who you got to compete against at this point. Do you do you do you base your run off of them, or are you just like, I don't care what they do, I'm going to stick to my own race, and if it works it works, if it doesn't it doesn't?
Um, I feel like now, like, that I will be with, like, other girls running similar times and, like, running with, like, very good competition, I'm going to try and probably, like, run with them and based off what they're running. But I'm also gonna, like, try and run how I usually do, so, like, if I need to get out fast, I still will. Yeah. I just have to, like, see I don't know, I just have to see, I feel like, in the moment, cause like, I don't know, I don't know, I just get, like, don't have enough, like, confidence sometimes, so I feel like I definitely need to work on that, but yeah.
No, I think that's a great point because I think especially in track is when I see this, um, and you could attest to it, especially with the 8. But it's like you almost have to make like you can plan how the race is going to go in your head, but once the gun goes off and you actually start going through the motions of it, all of it could just be completely thrown out the window, and you have to make those kind of split-second decisions like right then and there of what you're going to do. Um, and with cross country, I mean, you get obviously you get more time to kind of see those things out, but having the experience and like understanding who people are and like what to do and what you want to do also kind of helps and all that. Um, now that you broke 18, right? Obviously the goals have to have changed now. Um, what are some of those goals to kind of end out the year? Like, is there a new time goal? Is it the state title individually? Like, what are some of those goals?
Yeah, I definitely wanna continue to PR and, hopefully run, like, in this under 1740. Um, I also do wanna try and get the state title. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try for that, so that's a pretty big goal, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, from somebody in like media and like in the outsider end, it's like honestly, I hate to say it, but it really is like it's yours to lose at this point. Like I think you have a great shot at winning it. Do you feel that? Do you feel like I mean, again, it's like you say, like being nervous before a race because I've never been like the state favorite.
Hmm.
The highest I placed at state was 10th, and I'm totally fine with that. But I've never been like going into it like, oh, he's the guy. So I can only assume that's like, oh my gosh, like everybody in the state is wanting to see what I run and they expect me to win this thing. And if like, do you feel any of that pressure or is it, I mean, or no?
I definitely do, just because you are going in there, like, ranked the top girl, like, or one of the top girls, everyone's gonna be trying to run you down and everyone's gonna be trying to be the one to, like, beat, so it's just, like, that is nerve-wracking, but it also gives me a lot of adrenaline, so, like, I can race a good race because I do, like, good off a lot of adrenaline, so I feel like that'll make me, like, really want it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Can't go wrong with adrenaline, especially in a cross country race.
Mhm.
I always think like even when you PR, you can always kind of self reflect, especially on a bad race. You can definitely self reflect, even on easy runs, I think too. But what are kind of some of those things that you think that you need to maybe tighten up or work on like hardcore before the end of the season to kind of obtain some of those that's like 1740
Mhm.
goal.
Well, like I said, like, I need to really stop being nervous before meets or get as, like, nervous as I do because I have trained for this and I have worked hard for this, so I just need to trust in that and just be excited for the race because, like, there's no point to be nervous if you know you've prepared. So I feel like I need to really work on that.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like I said, we talked about it. The nerves are like it's good to have nerves. It really is. It's good to have nerves. But just controlling them and just
Mm,
yeah, like understanding like it's gonna be over. It's not like the end of the world.
yeah.
My last question here that I really have, I think it's important, is that like obviously, believe it or not, I promise you, but believe it or not, there are girls that look up to you that say like I want to be like you. Like they see the times you're on, they're like, man, like she's so fast and all this. What advice would you have for a middle schooler or even an incoming freshman into the sport that's like that's who I want to be? How do I get there?
So, like, to never get discouraged because I have tried so many different events in track. I was nowhere close to being, like, looked at as a good cross country runner my freshman, sophomore year. Um, just to never get discouraged because if you really want it and you do work hard for it, like, you will get it and it will come. And, like, I wouldn't consider myself, like, really that, like, like naturally gifted in like distance running. I mean, it took a lot of work to like get to where I am now. And yeah, I just even though if I would have a bad race, I would just keep trying and trying, and yeah, it's definitely paid off.
Yeah, no, for sure. It honestly great advice too. I think we're always so like fixated on like wanting to be so good so quickly. Um, and sometimes it works for people, but other times it just takes time. It just takes a
Mhm.
little bit of time to kind of find like who you are, what event works for you,
Yeah.
and your niche into the sport and whatnot. So I appreciate you coming on. Honestly, such a huge name. I'm so glad that this happened. Um, I think it was like, I mean, I remember watching obviously like eye opener in races like that, but I think like Lake Murray really was like the eye opener for me of like, oh my gosh, this girl just like destroyed from the start. It was just, it was a great work. It was a great work of art, great masterpiece performance you did, and obviously everything you've been doing ever since. Um, wish you the best of luck. Sub 1740. I honestly, it's kind of hard to say it on this course. But honestly, you definitely have a good shot at getting it the rest of the season. One last thing just came to mind. Postseason. Do you have any plans to do like NXR or now Brooks?
Mhm. I think I am gonna do Brooks. I have to see how I feel. Yeah, I definitely want to try and do Brooks. So yeah.
Have you ran at McAlpine before? Yeah, you
Um,
have, right? No?
no, I don't. No, yeah, no, I haven't.
Oh wow, okay. Definitely a fast course. Obviously the
Uh-huh.
history there, because obviously Foot Locker, and all that jazz. But
Mhm.
such a fast course, such a fast history, and whatnot. Again, wish you the best of luck. Thank you so much for coming on, and yeah, we'll definitely have to catch up. Hopefully sometime in November when you can call yourself a state champion in that cross country.
Yes, thank you.